Hello everyone, it's Bobbi-Jo and welcome to my home. I'm bringing to you the latest installment of my album tutorial, and I hope that you are able to follow along and that you're picking up things from me. I know I'm not always clear, but I'm hoping that you're getting something out of it, I guess. What we're going to be doing today is we're going to be making one of these little pockets to go into the album. And then here we're going to be also doing a mini file folder. It is going to be a little bit different from this. I'm going to bring this down a couple of 1/8 of an inch because I want it to look more like an actual folder. And then yeah, and we're going to have this closure as well because I always close them so that people can tuck things in and have them secure. So yeah, if you're looking to see a project share on this album here, this Christmas album, I'm doing a Christmas in July, and I will be showing that this week. So we'll start with the Accordion Pocket. Note that this is inspired by my sister's scrapper. However, it's relatively different. Well, it's quite different from hers, I think. However, it's the same concept. The main difference is that it's the size of paper that I'm using, and also hers flips out of her album. I want mine just stationary, stuck into the album, but hers flips down. So those are the major differences, and I will, yeah, we'll see the other differences as we go along here. But what we're going to be doing is taking the page that is it's 12 by 3 3/4. We're going to score at 1 1/4, 2, and then at 7 and 7 1/8 of an inch. So that will give us our gusset at the bottom and the top. So you've got these two lines here, and then you've got these two lines here. So it's a little bit of a smaller gusset at the bottom on pretty much on purpose. But yeah, that's what we've got. The other thing that we did was, what I'm doing is before I put this together, and it's going to look like that and then fold over the top. Before I put it together, I wanted to, I'm going to be closing mine with a snap. You could use Velcro, you could use magnets, you could use anything, but I'm doing a snap with mine. So I will show you doing the snap, because if you haven't tried snaps before and see how simple they are, you might want to scoop a little kit up. So this and this are just reinforcements. They are 3 3/4 by 1 5/8 of an inch. Then we have our accordion ones, which I already did, but these are 3 by 4 3/4, and then I scored at every 1/2 inch. We're then going to make sure that this is folding this way so that you've got your you don't have this showing on the front, on the side, I should say. So I just put tape down both sides after folding them like an accordion style. So again, just double-sided tape. Make sure we burnish, get all the bubbles out, and yeah, and basically you've got your accordion fold. So what we're going to do now is we're going to put the sides on. Now we want to get between, if we have this on the 12-inch length, this is the inside of the flap, which folds over. So you've got this. I'm going to actually, I will do something to maybe bring those out a little bit better. So if you take a look at this now, you see the two lines there. So you're going to start, you're going to do it between that line and this line down here. So I will show you what I mean. I'm just going to put a little bit more tape on that, because all right. So we want this straight edge to be going inside of the pocket. So we're laying down this mountain fold, and we're going to lay that to the outside. So it's going to look like this here. So just be a moment and I'll put this in. I start at the bottom. There is going to be a little bit of a gap up top. That's fine for me anyways. If you want to take it higher, you might want to go the 5 inches up. I just wanted mine to have a little bit of room there. So it's looking like this at the moment. So I have about 1/4 inch away from the line that I mentioned up here. So about 1/4 inch from that second line. Then we've got this side, and I'm right up against this line. This line right here. So essentially, that's what you're getting. I'm hoping that you're able to see that clearly. So yeah, our side looks like this, so that the mountain fold, and we have that. So I'm hoping that was somewhat clear. So now we're going to turn it around. I'm going to do this side. It's best just to flip, so you have your tape there. Just flip that under and work at aligning this side, this edge up to there, that edge. So that's where your tape is. Fold it and work just putting that edge up against the edge that's here. So I'm gonna put that around the same. And I always do my bottom first, unless you want to bring it up all the way to that second line. If that's the case, you don't have to worry about where you're starting. I start at the bottom because I want just that little bit of space there. So now it's a little bit of the hard part because we're going to be bringing this up, and we need to align this edge. There's your tape. Fold it like the first time, and then you have your edge. And what we want is this edge lining up with that. So we're going to bring our panel up. So I'll strip the tape off here. And I push down to bring it around that 1/8 of an inch that we scored down below. And I'm going to try to get it as straight on that edge as I possibly can. And I will show you what I do when sometimes I don't get it exactly perfect. So chances are I will do it not exactly perfect this time. So, but if not, I will show you anyways what I usually do. So we've got our first side over there. Now we're putting our second side in. Scrouch it. We've got our gusset at the bottom. We're going to bring that around and then bring our other edge along that. All right, so I do go and make sure that I'm squared off again. So I take my bone folder if I need to and square that out just so that it's as close to being square on as we can get it. Because it's not going to be perfect. You're not going to fold those sides perfectly. You're not going to guide it perfectly along the edge, things like that. So it won't be perfect. It's going to be homemade. So we've got our gusset on the bottom. That's allowing us to have a little bulk. And then there's looking down into it, and you'll see our edge is lined up with the edge of our side. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to make sure that I burnish those edges that have the tape on them, because I want to make sure that tape's going to seal well. And then I'm going to show you what I would do if sometimes what happens is that you're off a little bit and you get you're off a little bit here, so that there's some tape that is still there that's a little bit sticky along there. Now this one is pretty good, so I don't need to do it, but I will take and just rub some baby powder down in here, down along this edge and down along this edge if I'm off kilter a little bit, so that some of the tape is showing. I just take the stickiness away with the baby powder. So this is a little off, a little touch off, but not enough to worry about. So now we're going to do the snap. So I want my cover to be pretty much like that. So you can see I leave a little bit, I left a little bit up here, and then my gussets here. So when I put this the snap in, I want it to be pretty much square on. This part to be square on, not like this, not like this, but right squared off. So my center is 1 across here is 1 7/8 of an inch. So I am going to do the middle, and I'm going to put mine down as if, actually I'm going to just grab something here. Where is it? Oh, there it is. I didn't have to go into my drawer. This is my like everything sponge paper. Yeah. So I'm going to put this inside the pocket. And that's going to protect my back. Even though it's going to be sealed down on the album, I still want it to protect it. So yeah, so I want to see it squared off. So I'm going to find my center. So I've got that happening. I'm going to find my center, approximately where I want the snap to be. So I'm like, I want it around there. It's not rocket science for sure. It's just what you prefer. And I also think I just want to make sure that how far down yeah. So go back, square this off again. I just want to make sure that I'm going to be in the same protected, where I had it protected as before. So I need to have it above a little bit, because this is going to be underneath my protected edge inside right here. So I need to make sure that I don't go beyond that. So I'm going to put it about here, and I'm going to do so. I'm going to take my poking tool, find my 1 7/8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yep. And then I'm just going to poke. Now I'm going to poke, and I know right now that I'm in. All I need is to make sure that I have something there that shows me where I need to continue to poke in. So I'm going to just make sure that this won't go into the back of my pocket. When I take it in, you'll see my poking tool come out right there. And that's where we're going to put our snap. So essentially, there's one hole. I am going to make that hole a little bit bigger because it needs it. So I'm still into the protective, the harder. You can see inside that have my hole through what I put on to make the paper a little bit harder. Same with the top one. The top also has a little lip on it so that I can pull this up for the snap to undo. But it's just almost perfect. So let's do our snap, because I want you guys to know how easy this is. I love doing these. So what color do I want? Comes in this particular set, and I'll put it down below. Comes in, it comes with this, all of this, plus your setter. The setter is not hard to squeeze. I have arthritis in my hands and I have no issues with it. So what do I want? Just want to pick the color that I want here. Let me see. I'm always attracted to the beige ones, I think. The off-white, I should say. Yeah, I think I'm going with off-white again. So you need 2 of these. And you're going to need 1 of these. This is the one that goes in the other one. And then I'm looking for 1 of these so that this goes into this one. All right, let's do this. All right, so for the top one, I want it to snap in. So my one of those is going to go in there. Since it's the one I want to snap into the other one, I'm taking this one and putting it here. Then I take this and I put it around, making sure it's around this thing and around the one on the bottom, and squeeze. And we're done for that one. Then we take this one, and this one's going to be, you can think of it as an outie and innie. So this one here's going to have the thing actually come up through instead of go down through. So if I can do. So that's that. I'm going to make sure that I reach. So I do reach. So this one's the same. I'm going to put the black part around. Sorry, I hit you. Around the wider part. Put the white. And then squeeze. Squeeze very, you don't have to squeeze very much. I'm going to squeeze that a little bit more. I didn't. So there we go. And the snap's on. And I can do that. Excuse me for one moment. Sorry about that. I had to cough. So yeah, there's our pocket. I hope I've made it pretty much clear. If I have not, let me know. I will redo this. I have no problem redoing it at all. However, I will have the measurements below. So you will have the measurements for these. Like I said, if you want them to come further up, because I stop about 1/4 of an inch under. If you wanted to come to this top, you'd have to add about 1/4 of an inch or 2/8 of an inch right there. But I prefer mine so that there's a little narrow gap there. And I will put double-sided tape on the back of this and put it into my album. So our album's here. The reason I picked this color is because I thought it looked really good with our flowers on this page. So I'm going to be putting this in right here. It's just going to give people extra storage for different things that they may have. So that's where that's going. Now we're going to do the file folder. And this is quite easy. First of all, I distressed because I didn't want the paper to be too white. So I distressed it. I distressed it with shabby shutters. I love this green. I love it. I love everything about it. It just adds that little greenish, and I even have used it on fences, and it comes out really nice as if the fences have a little bit of green tint to them. So you can see a little bit of the green tint around this one. I did distress this with my new technique where I have put the baby wipe on top of it and made it distress a little bit. And this part's not as distressed, but I love it. I just love it. All right, so how do we make this one? Oh, and I also used antique linen on that one too. So we're going to have 8.5 by 5.5 for our folder itself. So on the 8.5-inch side, I just go and score at 4.25. So just half, essentially. I'll fold this over. What I do is I butt things up against my scoreboard edges, and it helps me get a better fold. I think that's less likely to be off. Okay, so what I do with mine, and I'm just going to let you know what I do, and then I'm going to show you a hack for it, because not everybody has the envelope punch board. I love my envelope punch board. If you have the opportunity to get an envelope punch board, get one. But I'm just going to show you what I do, and then I'll show you another way to do it. So I do my first, I put it at the 2 and I punch down. So I get this. Then I flip that over and I go into the corner rounder and punch. And then I get my tab. So now I just have to slice across here. So I'll do that. Now I'm going to need to distress my edges again. That's fine. That was expected. So you need to cut either with a pair of scissors. If you can cut straighter than I can with a pair of scissors, that's great. You're just going to come to this edge right here. Otherwise, I'm going to do this because, yeah, I can't cut straight. It's official. And then if there's anything overhanging, that's when I make it a little bit better. So, what do you do if you don't have the envelope punch board? You're going to decide what length of tab that you want, and you're going to come and make a mark at the end of where you want to be. Then you're going to cut across, and you're going to then curve the features that way. So essentially, let me see if I can, here, I'll take this one, it's already done, but pretend this tab doesn't exist, essentially. So I want my tab to be at 2 inches. I want my tab to be 2 inches. I want to come down yeah, 3/8 of an inch maybe. Just right there. So I'm 2 inch at the top, 2 inches at the bottom. So I'm going to cut up to that line right there. So I'm going to cut down and then this way. So okay, so I'm very close to there, so I won't go any further. And then I'm going to cut down. So I'll probably do this with my scissors after I fold this back, because I'll have a straight edge. And then all you're going to do at that point is round your edges. So approximately like that. But if you have the envelope punch board, that's awesome. So I'm just going to weather these a little bit here where I cut them. Again, just using the shabby shutters there. Yeah, so now I want to go to this end. So my tab's at this end. I want to go to this end because for me, either you want to bring it down to where your tab is, or you want to do what I'm doing right now, and that's taking 2/8 of an inch off that side. So I've got my tab over here. I'm going to take 2/8 of an inch off. Should have had my paper underneath there so it didn't shred. I'm getting... Oh, that's not enough, I guess. Take another 1/8 of an inch. So the 1/8 of an inch that I'm thinking of is actually right at the end of the tab, but I want another 1/8 of an inch off there, so it looks more like a file folder. Too many years in an office. So that's where I wanted mine approximately. So again, I want to take my distresser and just kind of go over those edges. And we've got the beginning of our file folder. So now what I want to do is I want to put not only a mat on, but also I want to put a ribbon around it. And I want this just so that it, I have that closure. So I'm just going to mark approximately. This is on the back. I'm going to have mine. You can do it either way, but I'm going to have mine the back here and then this so that it opens like that. You can have it this way. You can have it anyways, I guess. So I'm just going to quickly mark the middle of this. So and then I'm going to glue it. Oh, come on, Eileen. Come out for me, dear. Eileen is cranky today. Alright, so I'm just going to glue this on, this ribbon, because I do not want it shifting on me. So I want it about in the middle there, because, yeah, I don't want it to shift when I put it over. So now I'm going to glue just in the middle here because this is going to be under my mat, not up to these edges. And I just want to bring that around. There. So I'm going to let that dry for a moment and get rid of my scoreboard. I'm going to put some tape down on this. All right. I'm not going to distress this because it's going to be in the middle of the file folder, so I can't foresee any. I might distress it. It's pretty much well distressed anyways, so I don't think I need it around the edges. I'm just going to put a couple down the middle here because I want it to hold that ribbon. And this, if the mat is 3 3/8, if I remember correctly. Yeah, 3 3/8 by 5 1/4. But essentially, you're going to take this, the size of this, and you're going to bring it down 1 inch. I'm sorry, 1/4 inch each side. So if something's 5 1/2, and you want a border around it, 5 1/2, I usually go to 5 1/4. So if it's 3 1/2, I go to 3 1/4, or 3 3/4, I go to 3 1/2 for my. I take a 1/4 inch off from all the sides, one side, like, yeah, from both sides. And that will put me right in a really good middle where I have 1/8 of an inch gap around. It's not always perfect, but so there is our file folder. So again, I'll be putting the measurements down below. You do not need to put the ribbon on, of course. If you want to do a belly band, things like that, there's other options there. I just put the ribbon depending on my mood. Is how I'm gonna do it. So there is our 2 things that we're going to add to our album. And I look forward to showing you what they look like, but we're going to be decorating next time. So these will probably be in, and you'll see what we're doing for decorations. All right, thanks guys. Bye.